guys, episode 9, picking up literally where we just left off because I've just found the outro for episode 8. Alright, so first job, Monday morning, starting this week is going to be, we've made a few changes to the plan in terms of what the walls were going to look like, so I'll just show you guys what we're dealing with now. This wall here, we have the 3 windows, and then we just boarded up that bottom section. You can see there's a lot of crap there, but in here where all these pipes are at the minute, that's where our Olympic lifting platform is going to be. So we're going to have a proper raised platform for all the lifting, right, all the barbell work. So what we're going to do is we're going to blank off this window essentially. So the board that runs across the bottom, we're going to bring it across here and then raise it all the way up to the ceiling. That gives us a really nice backdrop, so we're going to put a kind of feature wall on behind the platform, and then we might have like a really cool logo or something up on it, but really giving us that kind of split. Just visually I think it'll look much better, and then we'll still have the window either side. So it kind of matches up with the big wall we've put together for the rig, by splitting this wall in half as well. So that's job number 1 for today. We're going to get on with it. We need to clear some of this out, we need to build a frame within there, and then get some MDF on top. Let's go, let's get this episode and day and week started. Alright, job's on hold. Surprise delivery. The floor is here. So let's go and get it in. Alright team, there we have it. 2 pallets of flooring. At least I hope it's flooring. Yeah, that's the good stuff. So now, excuse me, this needs to be handballed up in there. Alright, so here comes the functional fitness. Large load, long distance. Quickly is going to be debatable, but the quicker the better. Let's do it. Alright, so before we start humping it in, what I'm going to do is I've got this little trolley here. I'm going to make that the floor trolley, so that's now going to permanently be fixed to that floor. I'm going to build a little platform for it that's strong. It's not that wide, so I'm going to make a 1 metre by 1 metre kind of base out of the 4x2, make that nice and strong, and then that's where the floor is going to lift. Right, that way, let's just kind of move it around. Each tile I think weighs about 30 kilos, so once it kind of lays on the floor, you ain't moving it, but we're nowhere close to putting the floor down yet, so I just want to make sure we can move it around as we start to decorate and build other things. So job 1, build something to support it, then get it in. That's 1 pallet, another one the same size to come. I think we might be pushing the limits of this trolley. Probably got a few more on there. Just this to move now. According to the label, this is 1,000 kilograms, i.e. 1 metric ton. You can actually hear this thing creaking underneath here. This is it. move this in there now, and then don't know where to put this. Oh no, no. There's enough room for the tile. My MDF board underneath it to be fair. Oh. No happening. I need to live it here somewhere. What I'll do is handball the remaining ones in there, and I'll just keep this out here. I'll take a few off it and make a stack. I'll probably win that back room actually. Double. So now we have in here, so what I did was try and put them in here, and that way we can still work around if it comes to painting or plastering, we can work around. The only thing we couldn't do in here would be the floor, but I'd say that's going to be really far down the list compared to everything else. So we've got some in there, and then we've still got that bunch out there, and I have no doubt that at some point I will get annoyed with them lying out there, and I'll end up putting them in next to them. So right now I'm going to take a break. Alright, back to the job we started. And yes, I did move all those tiles off the pallet truck into the back room. Anyway, done. Saves them all getting dusty. So let's get this finished. There we go, full wall in, looking real nice. Just picture the scene here. Olympic lifting platform here, nice wooden insert, decorative finish on the wall behind you, nice big logo, all the weightlifting. Alright, cool. Really happy with that. So the double sheeting worked out alright, and we actually got it all married up quite nice with this stuff. So once it's all filled and sanded and whatever, and then what we'll do is, there's still obviously, there's something to go on the front of here to be confirmed, and then when we get that on, we'll put in a nice little edging piece here and tie it all in and tidy up all the corners and stuff. But as a whole, I love it. I actually love it because it's symmetrical too. It's obviously nice and central. Think about lining up your lift, the barbell, perfectly split and all that, you know. All the PB is going to be happening right in this corner. Awesome. And obviously this wall here as well comes round. All that nice light coming in too. Awesome. Alright. I'm getting on now, so I'm going to go and hit some fitness, get the daily dose in, and then we've got a nice little Zoom class later. So I'm going to hit that now, and I'll catch you guys in the gym tomorrow. And Tuesday begins. Alright, so I was at B&Q this morning, picked up some of this timber, so just some 2.4 metre lengths. What this is for is to strap out this side of this door and then this side as well, so we can fix some paneling on. Always hurts a little bit having to buy timber and wood from B&Q because you know it's overpriced, but you are paying for the convenience, and I do like just being able to go and grab things, throw it in the car, get what we need and get on with it. Alright, so that's today's first job, short shift today. Let's get it strapped up. Alright guys, what we did was pre-cut all the timber to frame this out. So let's stick it on now. Just like that. If only that's how it actually worked, that'd be awesome. So, all strapped up. Was going to strap this wall as well, but got a nice line here with these, so the sheet should go flush against here. We'll just get some screws in there, fix there, make a nice corner with the piece that goes on here as well, then that gets that whole thing wrapped. Meal time. A few packages today, and they've actually just came at probably the perfect time. Well, actually a day too short. Alright, so I arrived this morning, pulled up to the front gate because I had some stuff in the car to lift in, and something just didn't look right. There's an old boom box lying out there that I've had for years, but it's fucked. So it was lying with scrap, but I know that was one of the first things I threw out, and there was doors and everything on top of it, and it was just kind of lying in the middle there. That looks odd, so I took a walk around and yep, somebody has came and stole all the metal. Every single scrap is gone. Right, so somebody's been around the building. I checked our cameras, which cover everything basically from here back. Couldn't see anything, couldn't see anything in the car park, so they must have came at that front gate, came in, but I mean, they took every nut and bolt they could find in metal, which, in all honesty, done us a wee bit of a favour, because there was a lot of stuff I had to go on a skip and I had no plans of taking it to scrap or anything like that, but just very frustrating that somebody's round about the building, obviously watching or could see what we're doing, or maybe they just took a chance and rolled up. Anyway, on with opening this, because this, let's hope it is the right thing, and it's here a day too late. CCTV, right, so this is to tie into our existing system through there, so cameras, cables, the whole works. To get all this, so this wasn't today's job, but it is now. Alright, so we'll get on with that. Then we also have this, which is a Linksys envelope. So this is what I believe is a mesh network. So hooked up to our existing router. Now our router sits through in the reception area, which is obviously as far away from here as possible. So what we're going to do with today's job now is going to be fixing all this. I'm going to take our existing router, I'm going to attempt to move it into our office, which is in the middle. That's the office on the back wall here. So that ends up being in the middle of both gyms. I'm going to try and move the router there. Then I'm going to hook up this mesh network to cover the entire building. Once we get that done, then I'm going to install these cameras inside here and outside there, and we'll be good to go. So that is our Wednesday plan for us, because some thieving, yeah. Anyway, let's go. Japanese folding steel rule. the tool you didn't know you needed until you have it. Welcome back. So we're on to Friday now, guys. We got a little bit derailed on Wednesday with all things security related, cameras, alarms, internet and all that, but all that's done now, so we can get back onto building in here. So the job for today first is going to be getting that other door strapped out. So we did that one on Tuesday, now we're going to get that one strapped out as well, because that is part of the major job that we're going to do after that. So I'm hoping to get that started today. I'll talk to you guys through the new tools and things we've got to do it. Looking forward to it, and it's going to be quite the challenge. So it is early, it's Big Friday, big coffee, let's get going. Alright, we are ready to go. All strapped out, and this thing's going to do it. Alright, let's get on with the fun stuff. Firstly though, I'm going to make this table taller. Alright, so I don't end up breaking my back. I'm just going to raise this up a bit. Alright, nice and level and a little bit higher, and I can always add more on if when I get to work it's still a little bit low, but happy with it for now. But what I was actually doing was, notice how I cut this in here and the same on the other side, just to give it a bit more stability and then screw it down. But it was more of a test run for our new tool, which I'll show you guys now. Guys, here it is, new tool time. So this is what I've been banging on about for the last week. All the bits have arrived now, so I can finally start this big job that we bought this for. So what it is a router. It's a Makita 18 volt version, because it obviously matches the rest of the power tools I've got, so it's the same battery system, same charger and all of that. Now for me, in my opinion, the router's probably a bit more advanced than your regular tools. So for your regular DIY, you should probably always have a good drill, maybe a good saw and stuff like that, but it's a little bit more specialised, right? Well, it is for me anyway. So the reason we've got this is we're going to take on a big job more on a decorative side of things, and this was the best idea for it. So if you guys remember back in episode 2, maybe 3, I showed you guys those renders, the designs of the gym. Now when I made them in that software platform, I wanted all the walls to be black, just to show off what that would look like and kind of give us a feel for it. And the only material I could find in that program was that black brick. Now I didn't mention it last time, but just the more times I went back to that software to make some changes and stuff, just really like that brick. So me and Jenna both decided that let's go for it, let's see if we can recreate that in some way inside here. Now obviously we could just use real brick, not going to do that, alright? It's a gym, we want to be practical, and we've got some cheaper materials in terms of MDF there, so we're going to try and convert them into that brick pattern. So it's not just our own complete idea. If you notice through in the other gym, it is something we've done before. So it's behind the TV wall, you'll notice that that's all that white brickwork. We've also got the surround of the front desk, and then there's actually a little bit behind the glass board in the gym, which is navy, but that's how we can manage to get those straight lines. So what that was is just profiled MDF. Now we actually bought that in last time. It was laser cut, and we've seen it when we were out and about one day shopping for the other things. We actually seen it in a shop. It wasn't for sale, but we searched high and low to try and find it. We found somewhere down south to do it for us, so they cut it up and sent it up. But in hindsight now, looking back, we obviously wanted it quite quick back then, but now knowing everything I know now, and I've obviously picked up a few skills since then, is it was an absolute fortune, alright? I can't deny it. It was extortionate for a sheety MDF essentially, alright, and it was only 9mm too. So this time, I'm going to try and make it myself. So to do that, that's why we bought this router, okay? So we went for the full kit. Obviously need all the toys and all the bits and accessories to go with it, but the actual router itself is a little handheld router, and we went for the full kit, so it's got all the different attachments, all the bits. I don't even know what half of it does yet. I'm just kind of working with it, but this is a tool to do it, alright? So this is what it came like. This is the stuff we bought. This is just a little off-cut from last time. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Obviously straight lines, it is just a standard brick size. But it's quite rough, alright? I've actually done a little tester. When I got this last week, I went ahead and just did a few test cuts here. And obviously you might not be able to see that, but this actually gave us a much cleaner edge, a much better finish than that stuff we paid for. So that really just gave us a bit of hope that we can do this, alright? Now, obviously, we're going to be doing that to a full sheet. It needs to be really precise and really accurate. So obviously I went and got as much tools and kit as I could to make sure that happens. Now, obviously the cost of all of that kit compared to the cost of the sheets actually is still less, but but when the job's done, you get to keep all the good toys, and that means there's lots of other projects you can take on and do a few more cool things with them. Alright, so I'll just quickly run you through everything we need to do this job, and once we actually start it, which I'm going to start today, is I'll show you how it all works and how it all pieces together. Alright, obviously we need some straight lines, so number one is this bad boy. Alright, big T-square, alright, because we are marking full sheets now, that lets us go edge to edge, off that nice straight edge, make sure we can get in. Right, so that's number one for marking up. Then to actually do the job and the profiling, I've invested in this bad boy. Right, I love this. I don't know why. It's just a sheet of aluminium, but the Makita track. Okay, so what that does is it lies flat. It's actually for a track saw. That's what it's designed for, but it is universal because you can add other tools to it. You can buy little kits, and thankfully there's one that you can add the router to. So this is another base that came in here. A little bit of a kit that came with it. This is a plunge base, and what we can do is we can line this up. Obviously, line the track up. Then we can add the router. That router slots inside there, and then we can put that down, and then that's going to give us nice straight lines. Alright, how cool is that? Alright, I'm not used to it yet. It's just out the box, you can tell how clean it is. But super excited to get started on this. A little bit of pressure, like I said, but hey, let's do it. Let's see what we can do. Alright, all the different bits, so different router bits, clamps, and all that. Right, so the full kit, we're all set up, we're ready to go. That's why I raised the height of the table as well, because that's going to be a good platform to work on. I've stuck this sheet of plywood on top. That's the same size as the sheet MDF. That allows me to clamp it all down, get it super tight, and then we're going to spend a lot of time marking it out, getting it right, and then we're going to dive right in, see if we can get that first sheet cut. Oh yeah, and where the sheets are actually going to be for is, that's why I've strapped out both of these doors, alright? So the surrounds of those doors, so wrapping around that corner, is going to be all on that brick. Now we may use it in some other areas, we've got a few ideas where it might go as well, but primarily it's going to be on both of those door faces and then around the corners as well. So that's our job. I'm going to get them all cut to size, get them all profiled out first before we fix them on the wall. Alright, so let's go. Wish me luck. It may take me a week, but let's get it done. Alright, first one all marked up. So we're going to do all the horizontals first, get all the way across. Just a few things, obviously I doubt any of you guys are going to do this, but anything similar is always check your boards. Okay, there's a slight runoff here. So you can see just enough that the top corner wasn't square. So what that meant is that all these lines would have just been a mil or two out, so when it came to pairing it up with another board, which I'm going to do, it wouldn't have quite married up, and obviously straight lines are important here. So what I've done was I used this as my straight edge and made sure that everything ran 90 degrees to here, and actually on the bottom as well. So what I'm going to do is trim off this bottom section, because when we ran the square up here as well, that wasn't exactly 90 degrees either. So always worth checking. You assume these are straight, but working off this edge here, so that's why that T-square came in really handy. So now let's take our first attempt at running across here. So we're going to get the track and everything set up and go for it. Alright, so there's a track, and this is the clamp we're going to use. That's why I put the ply on top of the workbench as well. So I think this just slots in there. And then what that lets us do is get that nice and tight in there. Oh. There we go, that lets us lock in our board. Yeah, nice. So now get this all lined up, get both clamps in, and then we'll figure out what's happening with the router. Alright, a little test run, see if we've got the right depth. Alright, I think we've got it just about spot on. Nice little touch here as well as this little handle. So once I plunge that down and get the depth, I can lock that in place and it will stay there. Then all I need to do is guide it. Alright, here goes nothing. Alright, let's see. Not too shabby. Yeah, take that. Alright, just another 10,000 to go. Let's get it. See if we can get all these done before tonight's workout. Here we are, guys. All the horizontals done. So the first maybe 6 or 7 was all the clamps. So you see me going back and forth about 20 times each time. But turns out the bottom of this is actually really grippy. And once you line it up, obviously I had a really nice guide with, once I got one line done, I could use that as a guide for the rest of it, and just eyeballed it and it stayed in place, didn't move once, but really happy with that. Oh, nice finish. So now obviously we've got all the horizontals to do to actually make the bricks, but real nice finish and seems to be pretty symmetrical to it. So I'll just show you the stuff that was super expensive in comparison. So that was their version, and then this is going to be ours. I think ours is better. See, look in here, see they've got like, they actually had to dig every bit, or Jenna had to dig every bit out with a screwdriver on this stuff because it's off the bot. This has got a real nice clean edge. Sweet. Right, so that took about, I'd say about 45 minutes with the clamps and with the messing about and stuff. So probably able to cut that down to about 30 for the horizontals, say another 30 for the verticals. We're looking at about an hour a sheet, 5 sheets, not too bad. Alright, and definitely better than paying the absolute blistering price for that. Awesome, maybe I'll start selling MDF brick faux pas. Alright guys, going to get cleared up now. It's getting on, as you can see, getting dark, using the light. It's time for Big Friday, time to train, time to get that fitness in, and we'll get back down tomorrow morning and see if we can get a few of these sheets banged out. Let's go. Alright guys, it's Saturday morning, we're back at it. So what we're going to do today is more of this. Alright, so before I finished up last night, we just ran through it with just a test brick. So obviously we did all those horizontals yesterday, but I ran this line up for the actual brick. Came out pretty nice, pretty straight as well, and then really just gave us that kind of final look. So then obviously we'll put a half brick in here. So we're going to get on with that, get that done up, and I'll try and get one full sheet done. And that's probably what my next 6 hours looks like here. Right, so my entire Saturday, I'm just going to be routing that out. I'm going to throw on some podcasts and just kind of get to it, guys. So it's going to be 6 hours today, probably more, maybe, and then probably the next few days. I've got 3 full sheets at least, and then I'm going to cut the sheet to size for the doorways, and then I'll get them, make sure all the bricks line up and stuff. So it takes a bit of time, probably pretty boring, and I assume you don't want to watch a 6-hour time lapse of me routing in the same lines every time. So what I'm going to do is wrap up this episode. Alright, episode 9, we're calling it quits here, and then hopefully when we come back in episode 10, all of this will be finished and we'll be ready to hang it on the walls. Alright, so that's the plan. Alright guys, thank you so much again for watching this episode. Lots happened. We got some good progress in terms of the build. We had some robberies and all that good stuff. The floor came, so yeah, awesome. We are getting there. Alright. No dates yet. We got some announcements this week. No dates on when the gyms are actually going to open yet, so I don't have an open date for this or through there, but we'll get there, guys. So thank you again for watching. Hope you're enjoying. Appreciate all the comments from last time, and we'll catch up with you in episode 10.